I walked into the disco bathroom with him, and his tool was huge. My God, I was loving it. Before continuing the story, I ask you for a second to give a like to the video. It doesn't bother you at all, and it helps me a lot. Let's continue. After much courage, I decided to write to you about my infidelity. I am going to tell you in this story how I found a solution to save my marriage. My name is Beatriz, I am 30 years old, and I am married to Carlos, my husband. He is 38 years old, and we have been married for almost 12 years. Like many other marriages, we are going through a crisis. My husband and I have a small child. After the birth of our last child, things got worse. Lack of sleep, lack of money, and the constant exhaustion of caring for the little one left us exhausted. At first, we were very much in love. And the arrival of the child brought immense happiness to our lives, but over time things began to change. My husband started working even more to cover the extra expenses. Our intimacy, which used to be full of passion and desire, was now limited to rare and passionless moments. The fights became frequent and the arguments endless. Carlos complained that I was always tired and in a bad mood, while I felt that he was not helping me enough with the responsibilities of the house and our son. Frustration was the ace in the hole, and little by little we grew apart. Lack of communication and time alone caused the flame of our marriage to go out. To try to find a solution, I decided to spice up the relationship. Eventually, I bought toys, clothes, and costumes. One day I convinced Carlos to go together to a store specializing in toys. It was a new and fun experience for us. We went in a little embarrassed, but soon started laughing and exploring the place. We bought various things, from toys to nurse and police officer costumes. That day we had the feeling of being rejuvenated. Of rediscovering the pleasure of being together. In the first few weeks we took advantage of these novelties and had a lot of fun. I felt as if the flame was rekindled. I remember one night when I put on one of the new lingerie sets, and Carlos looked like the happiest man in the world. We used the toys, laughed, and, for a moment, it seemed like everything was back to normal. However, this excitement didn't last long. Soon we were back to the routine. The toys ended up forgotten in the back of the closet and the lingerie was put away and used. We rarely enjoyed each other, the effort to maintain active intimacy seemed increasingly difficult. My husband became distant again and I grew increasingly frustrated. I did not give up trying. I knew that deep down we loved each other. I felt that Carlos was trying too. I didn't want to be like those women who send stories pretending to be victims and using some excuse to cheat. I wanted to solve this problem together. I kept thinking of ways to rekindle the passion between us. I tried to be more affectionate. I talked about our feelings and tried to understand what else we could do to improve our relationship. We talked and decided to go out every weekend to break the routine. At first, we always went to bars and clubs with friends. The idea was to try to get the law back. Gria and the fun we had at the beginning of our relationship. These outings started to do us both good. The company of other people, the laughter and the lively conversations helped us reduce stress and gave us a new perspective. In the bars, we danced, we drank, and for a few hours, we forgot about our doubts and our everyday problems. When we started going to discos, I danced a lot. I always loved dancing and enjoyed every moment on the dance floor with my friends. I felt that the music made my body vibrate, freeing me from worries and problems while having fun. I noticed my husband watching me from afar. Carlos preferred to stay further away, watching the movement and absorbing his drink. He was never much of a dancer, but I didn't care. The important thing was that we were together, sharing the same space, even if it was in a different way. He was relaxed, even if he wasn't dancing with me, and he seemed to enjoy the atmosphere to the fullest. I wasn't worried about jealousy or fights. Dancing alone with my friends gave me freedom. But I was also afraid it would cause problems between us. When we got back from the party, I decided to ask her if it was okay for me to dance alone or with my friends. A little apprehensive, I asked her, "Honey, are you okay with me dancing alone or with my friends? I don't want it to bother you." Carlos looked at me with a smile and said, "I don't mind, honey, I like to see you having fun, happy. It makes me happy too." His response relieved me, knowing that he didn't feel left out, and that, in fact, he enjoyed watching me enjoy the moment, made me feel more at ease. This reinforced our decision to continue dating and trying to rekindle the spark that seemed to be fading between us. Since we decided to go out every weekend, my friends couldn't always join me, and my husband didn't really like to dance. So I started dancing alone in the middle of everyone. The dance floor became my space, where I could let loose and have fun without worrying too much about the stares around me. The music enveloped me and made me feel alive, while my husband watched from afar, appreciating, though not actively participating. I felt like enjoying the moment. One of those nights, as I was dancing happily, a boy came up to me and started dancing with me. His back was turned and he didn't look back. I thought it was my husband. So I started dancing even harder, swaying my hips and grinding, completely absorbed in the music and the dance. Only when the music changed and I turned to the side, I realized it wasn't my husband. The guy was a stranger, and the situation left me a little bewildered and surprised. I'm not going to lie to you. The guy was quite attractive, young, tall, and very strong. I was speechless when I realized he wasn't my husband. I quickly apologized, explaining that I had gotten confused. He also apologized, saying he didn't want to cause trouble. I went back to my husband's table, who was watching everything from afar. I felt a little embarrassed, but I tried to act normal. When I got to the table, I was afraid my husband would fight me. But, to my surprise, he asked me if I was enjoying the dancing and told me that it was okay for me to dance with other people, since he didn't like to go to the dance floor. He even encouraged me to ask him to play another song, which left me relieved and a little confused. I thought about it thinking it might be cause for a big fight, but he seemed calm. I told him I was fine and went back to dancing. I walked over to the guy I was dancing with and started dancing with him again. As the music got louder and the lyrics got bolder, our dance became more and more intimate. My husband watched from afar with a look of desire and mystery. It was making me want to be desired and dominated. In a way I had never experienced before. Watching me dance for another man seemed to awaken in him an even greater desire. And that was making me extremely excited and anxious. After dancing with the guy, I thanked him and went back to my husband's table. I was visibly anxious, and I could tell the atmosphere was charged. We had been drinking, and the alcohol was taking effect quickly. When I arrived, he was quick to ask me if I had enjoyed dancing with another man. It took me a while to answer, as I was thinking about the question, but I ended up saying yes, I had. I asked my husband if he had enjoyed watching me dance with another man. He said yes, he had enjoyed it very much. Then, out of the blue, he propositioned me. He told me that if I wanted to, I could kiss him. He said it would be just for that night, and there would be no consequences. My husband seemed really interested. And suddenly, the idea didn't seem so far-fetched. His proposition was mixed with the alcohol and the excitement of the night, and I was intrigued by the possibility. My husband said he would stay at the table and watch from afar. I felt a growing and intense desire, so I went back to the guy. We started talking in a more intimate and engaging way. And the chemistry between us was evident. With every word and touch, the desire grew. After a while of talking, feeling more and more attracted to him, I decided to take the situation to the next level. I felt the need to be alone with him, so I invited him to go to the bathroom, saying I wanted to talk somewhere more private. The guy followed me. Surprised, as we approached the bathroom, I looked around to make sure no one was watching us. So, without hesitation, I grabbed the guy with a rush of desire and kissed him. The heat between us was palpable, and the feeling of power enveloped me completely, while my husband watched everything discreetly from a safe distance. He was hidden, but he couldn't help but notice the situation. I went ahead and led the boy into the bathroom while my husband waited outside, almost as a spectator. I finally understood what my husband wanted to read and how excited he was about the idea. Inside the bathroom, the atmosphere was getting more and more charged. Did the boy and I continue to indulge in our desires without inhibition? My husband, who was outside, seemed to be even more aroused by the sounds coming from inside the bathroom. Could he hear my moans if he knew exactly what was going on in there? This only increased the intensity of what we were experiencing. I was in love with what I was experiencing, and I was completely surrendering myself to the pleasure of the moment. After a few minutes, the guy came out of the bathroom, and I, a little out of breath, started to leave as well. But before I could get to the door, did my husband pull me back into the bathroom? I was completely absorbed by the situation and the action of the moment. There, in that small space, we began to make love in an intense and crazy way. We had never experienced anything so intense. The combination of desire and atmosphere created an experience that took our breath away. I was so involved and addicted to this new form of pleasure that I gave myself completely. Before we continue with this story, please leave a like. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. After that wonderful night, we came home laughing and full of energy. My husband seemed as happy as I was. On the way, he asked me if I liked the idea and the experience. I answered honestly, saying that it had been amazing and that I wanted to repeat it whenever we could. He smiled with a mixture of joy and satisfaction and revealed that he had also found the experience fantastic. In the car, we started talking about what had happened, and to my surprise, she opened her heart to me. He revealed that he had always had a secret desire to see me with other men, but that she had never had the courage to tell me. He was afraid that I would fight with him and we would end up breaking up. That confession, far from provoking any discomfort, seemed to seal a new understanding between us, expanding even more what we had lived. That night it was as if, by expressing our deepest truths, we had broken the chains that kept us trapped in an emotional and physical monotony. This act of honesty opened a new chapter in our relationship, where communication and trust became fundamental pillars. An unexpected awakening. After that revealing night, we realized that there was so much more to explore in our relationship. What initially seemed like a simple curiosity turned into a conscious quest for rediscovery. We decided to fully immerse ourselves in this new dynamic, exploring desires and fantasies that we had previously repressed or not even considered possible. Almost every weekend, we ventured into a passion we thought was lost. Not only did they save our marriage, but they also helped us reconnect. We found that this approach allowed us to release tension, reconnect in unexpected ways, and appreciate even more what we had as a couple. Every outing became an opportunity to strengthen our bond. Not only physically, but also emotionally. In addition, we learned to separate the moments of pleasure shared with others from what our union really meant. We understood that our love did not depend on exclusivity, but on honesty, respect, and mutual commitment. This new perspective allowed us to leave jealousy and insecurities behind, replacing them with trust and complicity. A new meaning for our marriage. The freedom we found in this new lifestyle gave a new meaning to our relationship. We became accomplices in every way, sharing secrets, laughter, and new adventures. This openness made us feel more alive and connected, as if we had discovered an inexhaustible source of energy and enthusiasm. Over time, we began to see how this dynamic not only benefited us as a couple, but also improved other aspects of our lives. We became more communicative, understanding, and patient with each other. Even our arguments, which used to escalate quickly, were now resolved more easily, thanks to the trust we had built. A message to other couples. I firmly believe that couples can learn a lot from our experience. Talking openly about their desires, fears, and frustrations can be the first step in finding real solutions to the problems they often face. Silence and lack of communication are the real enemies of a relationship. Instead of betraying the person they love over small differences or grievances, couples should look for ways to innovate and transform their relationship. Betrayal and dishonesty only destroys what, with effort and dedication, could have been saved. Innovating in the relationship does not always mean exploring the same dynamics that we do, but it does mean looking for what works for both of you, what makes you feel more connected and happier. Each couple is unique, and what matters is that you both agree and feel comfortable with the decisions you make together. It is essential to maintain partnership and mutual respect at all times. Facing life's challenges together as a couple, from the smallest to the biggest, can make the difference between a relationship that fades and one that flourishes. Seeking solutions that benefit both of you, rather than acting unilaterally or resorting to betrayal, is a sign of true love. Ultimately, what saved our marriage was not only this new approach, but our willingness to face our differences together and work for our common happiness. Life as a couple is not easy, but with effort, understanding, and above all love, is it possible to overcome any obstacle? A call to action to transform your life and your relationships. If this video has resonated with you in any way, if it has made you reflect on your own relationship, or inspired you to seek new solutions to the problems you face, we invite you to join our community. Subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any of our upcoming videos, filled with real stories, practical tips and strategies that can help you live a fuller life and stronger relationships. By liking us, you're not only helping us reach more people with this message, but you're also motivating us to keep creating content that really makes a difference. This simple gesture is an important step to grow this community of support, learning, and personal growth. We want to hear from you. We'd love to hear what you think of this story. Have you faced similar challenges in your relationship? What strategies have you used to overcome difficult times? Your experience can be a source of inspiration and learning for others who may be going through similar situations. Share your thoughts in the comments. Tell us what you thought of this story and reflect on the questions we have posed to you. What would you be willing to do in an everyday hashtag to save your relationship? Remember, there is no right or wrong answer. Every relationship is unique, and what's important is the willingness to work together to find the path that works for both of you. A space to learn together. We want this channel to be a space where you can feel supported, where you can learn from the stories of others, and share your own experiences. Life is full of ups and downs, and we all face challenges in our relationships, but by reflecting, sharing, and finding solutions together, we can grow and strengthen our bonds not only with our partners, but also with ourselves. Also, if you have specific topics you would like us to address in future videos, feel free to mention them in the comments. This space is for you. We want you to find in it the content you really need to transform your life and your relationships. An invitation to reflect. Now that you've watched this video, take a moment to reflect on how you can apply what you've learned to your own life. What changes could you make today to improve your connection with your partner? What habits could you incorporate to keep the spark alive and strengthen communication? No matter where you are in your relationship, there is always room for growth and improvement. And remember, you are not alone in this journey. We all face challenges, but with the right approach and the right support, is it possible to overcome them and come out stronger? See you in the next video. This is just the beginning. In the next video, we will continue to explore real stories and offer practical tips that you can apply to your life. Whether you're looking for ways to overcome a crisis, ideas to keep the passion alive, or simply inspiration to take your relationship to the next level, here you'll find content designed to help you do just that. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell to be the first to know when we upload a new video. We want to support you on your journey to happier, more fulfilling relationships. And we're excited for all that's yet to come. A special thank you. Thank you for being a part of this community. Your participation, your comments, and your support, they are what make this space possible. Together we can learn, grow, and create more meaningful and authentic relationships. So subscribe, like, share your thoughts, and get ready to keep discovering inspiring stories and tips that can make a real difference in your life. See you in the next video. Until then, remember, Every step you take towards understanding, communication, and love is a step towards a fuller and happier life until the next shining star.